Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Once again, it's on. In case y'all didn't know, this is the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. We came here to bring you that boom bap breakfast right here on Black Liberation Media. So, yo, let's get it started. And how we gonna get it started? We gonna get it started with the one they call LJ. All day.
Hey. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. What's up?
How are
What's
you?
up? Hey. How are y'all out there in the computer world? Computer land
How
or
are
wherever you're at?
you?
I hope good. I hope good. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, LJ.
Yeah. Hey. So
Long
much happened
story.
this week. So much happened this week.
Hey, we gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. Right now it's me and you. We got some other people coming also. I guess Kimberly overslept. We'll see how that goes. We got Ricky Ryan coming at 9, and Kamal's on the plane. Jared's
Mm,
writing the book, and Jackie is handling some other business. Everybody's so
hmm
busy.
Yeah,
Well,
we're all
I need to
busy.
get busier. I need to
Oh,
be able to call out and be like, yeah, I can't make it. See how it
well,
goes.
if you're not here, Doctor, who will press the buttons? Who will press the buttons?
It would do a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Button pushing. I changed the thumbnail today. I had a old head up there for the thumbnail. I had to change it for the sister and put Sonya Massey's picture up there so we could say her name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So big up to that sister and the family that's dealing with that craziness right now, and let's continue to say her name.
That that was so deeply I mean, every single murder is deeply distressing, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like And what really pisses me off now is that there's this rhetoric around like even the way they're reporting it in the media, like
hmm
especially with Cop Mala, I should say. I was going to say Kamala. Cop Mala is running for president. Like I'm seeing so many black women reporting. Like I love black women,
yeah.
yes, and and it's like okay, all of y'all who we didn't promote last year, come on screen now. It's for you, and they're like, oh, this violence that we've never seen in America. And it's like, have you not been here the
Ha-
last 240
Has either of the
years?
candidates even addressed this?
Biden has said,
Candidates.
oh, I'm not sure yet. Yeah,
No,
I
they
don't
haven't.
know.
Oh,
I
that
don't
was a
know.
trick question.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Well,
haven't. You know,
hmm.
it's not as important as them getting elected right now. So, mm.
Well,
Oh, what did
I mean,
Biden say? My bad.
well, Biden was like, oh, this is a deep tragedy that I'm looking into. Um,
What is there to look into?
what is there I don't know. I don't know. It seems pretty
Yeah,
obvious what happened there. Yeah.
as as long as he says her name, they were like, okay, well at least he acknowledged her. You know.
I mean, and I was actually really surprised because usually you don't see on mainstream media them show previous murders
Mm.
because usually they're like, police involved shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they won't say, oh, a woman was killed by so and so in their home, right? Like they were actually starting to link it together. And I only think that's because of Kamala to say that they're going to do something about it to get people to vote, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
going to actually do anything.
Not at all. Not at all. This is just a ploy for more votes.
Yeah.
So you're not rushing down to the voting box to put in your.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Mm-mm. No, they're not talking to me. They're talking to everyone. I mean, I don't know how much is going to actually make people who were on the fence, so to speak, going
Mm-hmm.
to vote for Biden or Kamala. I think everyone who was going to vote for Biden was going to vote for them anyway.
Yeah.
And this doesn't really change anybody. And again, black people are not going to suddenly all become Republican. Like that's just not
Yeah,
what's happening.
that's like the big fear, right? As soon as you say, "Well, I don't know if I want to vote for her," it's like, "Oh, so you're just going to vote for him and let him get in?" I'm like,
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
there a middle where you could be like, "I'm good on both," or no? I
No,
don't
you have
know.
to pick a side, and that's the thing. Like
God.
comply or die. That's what
I
we're.
like that. Comply or die.
Well, that's what it is.
That's better
Yeah,
than vote or die. Then comply or die.
comply or die. Yeah, that's what it
Gosh.
is.
So talk to us about this okay, so let us know where you was just supposed to be at and why you're not where you're supposed to be at. Take a
Ugh,
breath. Go ahead.
let's see.
Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth.
I was supposed to be in Caracas with a bunch of comrades to give you some amazing on the ground reporting from
Mhm.
Venezuela. But I'm not because, well, I do want to say this and I want everyone to have a moment to remove small children or put me on mute. Okay, I want to give you a moment.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Get out.
Okay. So, fuck Kiwi. Okay? Fuck Kiwi.
What's
And
that?
from the, you don't want to know what they are. They are the small fruit company. The small fruit company. They they operate airlines
Mm.
like a shell within a shell within a shell. It's some Jason Bourne ultimatum shit. Okay? Because Kiwi, this company, they are not actually booking you the ticket. They are the middleman between, okay, maybe you have a spot on the plane.
Mhm.
And so airlines that you know, like Delta, Southwest Air, like they don't actually know that you've booked yet when you book on Kiwi.
Mhm.
They're just like, we see something floating. And so you'll get to the airport, okay? And they'll be like, "Oh, w- sorry, you didn't know your flight was canceled?"
Oh wow.
Because Kiwi keeps the data of people that booked with them locked behind their own paywall and they will say, "Okay, you're flying Delta, right?"
Mhm.
But Delta won't have any of that information.
Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many hours were you at the airport?
8 or
eight,
something?
8 hours. It's a full time
Yeah.
job.
I mean, because it takes me 2 hours to get to the airport from where I am.
Okay.
So and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then it was a sister at the counter and at the Delta counter. And she said, "Oh, you booked Kiwi?" And she kinda went she gave me a face like and
He's
I was
like,
like, "Yeah, yeah." But yeah, I did. But the reason why I booked Kiwi is and anyone else who books Kiwi is because their flights are I'm sorry, I keep saying it, the small fruit company.
uh-huh.
The small fruit company is because these tickets are like $300 to $400 cheaper than if you
Mm.
were to book directly with the airlines.
That's what
So
that's you get what you pay for, they say.
I mean, even when you pay for it, because that's the point of this story,
uh,
Delta has been melting down completely due to this IT outage. And that's
oh
a
yeah.
little bit what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Cause it's oof. Man, I mean the airports are very very crazy right now. I don't. It's no way. Like I just dropped my kids off to go to actually to Bahamas, but that's international. So I guess they wasn't having no problems on the
No,
international
they
side.
were.
Oh, they were
Mm-hmm.
too. Well, they
Mm-hmm.
made it. Oh
Yes.
wow. Yeah, and a
Yes.
lot of people I heard pilots was walking out, stewardess was just leaving. Like, listen, I'm not dealing with this shit. Cause you imagine being a stewardess and a pilot and having to sit around all day and deal with this shit, and then coming up to the front desk like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no
Yeah.
way." So what else what else happened?
So I don't even know. So many things happened. No one had access to my information because Kiwi, the small fruit company,
Okay.
The
Food
small fruit
company.
company, they don't let, like I said, they don't let their carrier airlines are actually run by the larger ones that you may know. Um, and they don't get this information out. So no one was able to change my ticket. They were saying, hey, maybe we can get you to, my original flight was to Miami. They were saying, maybe we can get, there are no flights because everyone is already rebooked and you didn't know because you weren't notified. So all the people who booked small fruit company didn't know that their flight was canceled.
Mm.
And then they were saying, maybe we can get you to Fort Lauderdale and you can drive to see if you can get your connection. And I was like, what? Um, so yeah, that was phone that was at the desk. That was before I even got to talking to the actual people at the airlines. But I do want to say one more thing about
Yeah.
the airlines specifically before I pull up the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally got to someone who worked for Delta actually. And she was like, "Oh, I've never even sent someone to Caracas." She was like, and I was like, she was like, "Why are you going there?" And I was like, "Oh,
Oh
they're
shit!
I was like, they're
Who
having
goes there on the
elections."
vacation?
Yeah, she was, and I was like, "Well, they're having elections. They're trying to cover it." She was like, "Oh, is it like Cuba? The embargo countries, because you can get from the US to Colombia because there's a relationship with Bogota, but like after that things get a bit murky." She's like, maybe I can try to get you to Bogota, but like I don't know." And
Mm.
so and she's like, "Don't," she was like, "Don't use a small fruit company anymore." I was like, "Well, lady,
Yeah,
like
well, it's a little too
I
late for that
a
shit,
little too
right?
late for that." So yeah, yeah.
Oh my god! You know what
That
I'm gonna
was
do?
part of the story.
I'm
That
gonna
was
be
part of the
ghetto.
story.
I'm gonna be ghetto real quick. Let me see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no. You gotta put
What?
people on blast sometimes. You gotta put
Wait,
people on
who are
blast
you
sometimes.
calling?
You gotta put people.
No.
You gotta
Do
put people on
not.
blast sometimes.
Do not, ear
And
doctor.
I bet she's watching too, like this.
I think you should hang up. That's so rude.
I can't help it.
Mm-mm.
I'm a rude
Mm-mm.
boy.
Good.
Ah,
Good.
listen to that. Look at that.
I'm
Boy, let me
glad.
tell you.
I'm
Anyway,
glad.
so you said you had a story. We go get the story. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. You know,
Let's do
leave
it.
them in there, and then we gonna get to the stories and all that stuff, all the news and stuff. And make sure y'all tell people we are here. We are outside, inside, and outside, right here on the Remix Morning Show. So with that said, let me go ahead and get this music playing, and
Let's
we'll be
go.
right back after this break. Peace. All right. Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor in case you didn't know. And what we gonna do real quick is we gonna do a remix of the remix. And let me get this ready for you right quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. And share like you care. All right, with that said, let me put one on you. Remix on the remix, y'all. Let's go.
Why can't I find somebody else when I know that you're doing wrong? It's so hard to let it go. You just, I done went through just about 2 bags of tissues, baby, and you're looking at me like you ain't the issue, baby. And though I tried to leave, I can't stop missing you, baby. And I keep coming back. Circles, round and round, and why you're doing me so wrong? I just keep holding you down. I feel so stupid, so foolish, loving you this way. But what can I say? But I wanna go, but I keep.
All right. So let me take you to a time and place. We talking about 2010. Well, matter of fact, let's go back to 1995 when he had an album called Lab I'm about to fuck this. Labin, Labin, California. By the Far Side in 1995. This song is called Running by, done by the late great Jay Dilla. And mixed with a little bit of 2010, which is Jasmine Sullivan, Love Me Back. And the name of that song is Hold You Down. So a little remix on the remix right there. That said, make sure y'all tune in to Sundays on this channel right here, Black Liberation Media. All right, with that said, let's get back to it. Remix Morning Show, y'all. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I thought you
I
appreciate it.
love Jasmine Sullivan. I love her
Oh my
voice.
goodness. She is Lab Cabin, California. Thank you, Leah. Leah.
Still don't know that either.
I gotta add that extra E. I keep fucking.
Leah.
Even when I see the A in there, I just keep saying, But yeah, yeah.
Separate them. Yeah.
All right. So Kim just texts. He's having some internet issues, so we'll see how that goes. Other than that, yeah, that right there, Jasmine Sullivan has one of the voices of our time, and she started, I think, as a little kid on one of these Star Search.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
it. I saw an old video of her. So cute.
yeah, man. So her, and then that album, I would say the Far Side's first album, um, Bizarre Ride on the Far Side was their classic album. This was a good album too. It had some songs, but make sure y'all check out Far Side too. Man, that was a good time, boy. That
I will.
whew.
I will.
Yes, yes. All right, so I guess we can pretty much we can slap the
I want a weather
proverbial map.
report. I want a weather report. I never get one.
I only do those on Tuesdays.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's fine
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll figure something out, but I don't have much time to not get off the screen since it's just me and you. So,
True.
all right. So let's go ahead and get with some news right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah, yeah. Down, 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 down. Boy, that
I
horn
like that.
section. That horn
Mm.
section in Afrobeat, especially with Fela. Oh, as you see the shirt right here, Fela. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So, boom. You got
Let's
a
do it.
story.
I do.
Okay, let's get to it. Let's talk about it.
So I wanted to expand a little bit and talk about the IT outage and Delta specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So the US is investigating Delta's flight cancellations and faltering response to the global tech outrage. Outage, sorry. I want to add though, it wasn't just the airlines that were experiencing this IT outage. It was also emergency rooms, 911 lines, depending on where you were,
Mm.
and all over the world too. India, Malaysia, France, US. So this was global. Um, U.S. regulators are investigating why Delta Airlines failed to recover as quickly as other airlines from a global technology breakdown and whether Delta's treatment of passengers stranded by canceled and delayed flights violated federal rules. Pete Buttigieg on Tuesday
Pete.
announced announced the investigation into Delta's response to the outrage, which he said had affected more than 500,000 of the airline's passengers.
Mm.
A Delta official said that the airline expects to return to normal operations by the end of the week. This happened over the weekend. I was trying to get out of here on Tuesday, and so it's still ongoing.
Mm.
It has improved a lot, but it's still folks are still pretty affected by this. Delta and its connection partners canceled more than 500 flights on Tuesday.
Damn.
That was down by more than half from Monday, but still
Damn.
unaccounted for nearly two-thirds of all canceled flights in the United States, according to the tracking software. So this happened because they all use the same cybersecurity company, CrowdStrike,
Ah.
and that's a problem. and it sent a faulty update to more than 8 million. And again, Microsoft computers around the world late last week.
Yeah.
Most of them reduced cancellations to roughly normal levels. So sort of.
Then
And there's a go ahead.
then they say they found the person that was that the mic behind the Microsoft problem. Uh
Yeah, I
okay.
believe that they were saying they want to blame it on one person. They always
Yeah.
do with
They
things.
always find a scapegoat.
One IT person, it's their fault. They
Mhm.
did it. So over 6,000 flights have been canceled, but they were also getting more than 3,000 complaints with minors being stranded because Delta specifically canceled minors being able to be accompanied by family
Oh.
members. So kids were stranded in other airports. Um, and so there's one more piece of this, and then I want to say something about a
Mhm.
lot of the comrades who were flying out this week as well. I want to go down to the settlements that Delta has been. Well, let's go back.
Okay.
First, Delta is one of the most profitable airlines, especially during the pandemic, right?
Mhm.
They've been raking in millions of dollars, and they seem to rely more on Microsoft than these other airlines combined. Southwest has also been in a lot of trouble.
Mhm.
And in in light of this collapse, they were trying to do a settlement with folks with previous complaints because they're being investigated on whether or not their compensations for people follow federal law.
Mhm.
So, and I would say they don't because at first they were saying they only wanted to give people a voucher, and then federal law possibly is saying that they want to, you should probably pay people back
That was
money.
the 3 hour rule where if it goes over 3 hours you get
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So that they're currently under investigation for that. So Delta's meltdown mirrors that of Southwest Airlines, which canceled nearly 17,000 flights over 15 days in 2022.
Oof.
A transportation department investigation ended with Southwest agreeing to pay a $35 million fine as part of a $140 million settlement. So,
It's gonna be
and
a lot of people on the road.
yes,
I mean, who wants to wait at the airport for a flight that might never happen? The road's gonna be crazy. You gonna, whoo, that's yeah,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
lot of money. Stock people that got stock in there. Stock market on
I
quick.
don't care about the people that
People
have
jumping
stock
off
in
buildings.
airlines.
Yeah, me neither. I'm
No,
just saying, they might
I don't
jump
care
off a
about
building.
them. I care about the people. And it's like, sure, I would love to take a leisurely airliner. Yes, I love Titanic. Like put me on that boat down to Caracas. Would love to do that. But I can't. I have to do this airline company that
Yeah.
doesn't even know if they're getting me an actual ticket. Okay, and then I have to, they're like, "Oh, sorry, we can't do it. You have to call while you're in the airport and use our shitty Wi-Fi while you're trying to make these phone calls." And I'm clearly talking to someone who doesn't know like my file at all because I had to repeat my information 5 or 6 times. So,
Mm. Oh man, hell of a trip to nowhere, man. Damn.
yeah. So, oh, and to close it out, so a lot of our comrades from BAP were actually able, I mean, they were also affected by this. People were stranded in Miami and Houston. There's a delegation that's also going to Cuba, that they got delayed. So our own Ricky Ryan was also affected by this.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm just glad that people were able, though, to get to places like Nicaragua safely, and also Venezuela if you weren't affected by it.
Man, I mean, you talking about hotels filled up. I mean,
Exactly.
who's paying for all this? I guess
Well,
Delta.
that's the thing. That's what
Hmm.
Delta is trying to do. Because again, so for me, they were saying first to an airline credit, they were possibly saying for folks to get an airline credit to use within a certain amount of days. But that has since changed as it's been rolling out and people have been paying more for hotels and things like that. They changed it. They're like, okay, sorry, and came out with a statement saying
Hmm.
that they will pay for hotel and food, but they won't be able to compensate for lost wages. And, possibly Ubers could be on there. I don't know. So I'm going to try to see what I can do. But
Man, I tell you what, Spirit, Frontier, they're gonna be packed. They're gonna pay that
they're
extra
even
little.
worse. They're
I'm,
even worse.
I'm, I'm saying if everybody is like fuck Delta right now, they're gonna go somewhere else. You said Southwest is having problems too.
Yeah.
What's the other airlines? I don't even fly that
American
much.
Airlines is also under scandal. I believe it was American Airlines that fired the two flight attendants,
Mm.
right, that were wearing Palestinian pins. I believe.
Ooh,
Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. That could be Delta too. It might have been Delta actually. Delta also told me that they can't account for my nut allergy. So if I die on the plane, it's like,
oh
oh,
snap.
sorry, like we can't, and you're still gonna serve nuts, and you, uh,
So with that nuts even being around you,
yeah. Sometimes it's
pause.
airborne as
Well, yeah,
well.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
Not all nuts, but like most of them. Yeah.
That is wild. So they just like fuck it. I mean, they about to get a whole lot of they got problems right now. I could just imagine the person up top like, oh my god, fuck it, that's your problem. So
Hmm.
yeah. Well, I hope whoever is out there, I hope y'all get wherever y'all got to go safe. Take the road. I know school is about to come back, so less vacationing. I would assume for some people, but people that got
Hmm.
like regular jobs where they got to fly out all the time. Oh my goodness, you got to give me a raise.
Exactly.
You got to give me a raise. All right. So what?
This is only gonna get worse.
It's only going to get worse. And then you think about technology and how dependent we are on it right now. Like the power goes out. Some people can't even get in their house because you
Yep.
know how they got so many electric this, that,
Hmm.
and the third.
Hmm.
It's crazy. We are mad dependent on yeah, technology. So,
Technology.
oh man. So what else we got going on?
Well, the reason why a lot of people were also traveling this
Hmm.
weekend was because the war criminal Netanyahu came to speak in front of
Mm.
Congress, and folks were trying to get down to the Capitol to be there to protest his visit. There were some direct actions. Don't have a video of that. Maybe we can try and find that of the Palestinian. Nope, I don't want to say who it was because I don't want to get it wrong. But the youth group, I know for sure they're a youth group, released maggots and crickets into the first hotel that Netanyahu was staying in. And they were also protesting
Wait,
outside. Yeah.
what maggots and crickets? Oh, yo, that
Maggots and crickets. And also, they pulled fire alarms. And so he switched hotels. So that was a direct
that's
action
a
that
different
occurred.
that's a different type of warfare right there, yo. That's wild.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Maggots and crickets. That's my brother.
Yeah, they
Yo,
did. Yeah.
so so you said you ain't have video of it, or you just
I don't have a video of it. I did see it on Twitter, but maybe you
okay?
can find it.
I see what I could do. I don't have my YouTube is messing up too, so it's kind of hard.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Look at that. Everybody left us. We have any more stories?
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay, that's what I thought.
do. I do have a video.
Okay.
I'm sorry to expose you, but I wanted to. So Netanyahu is giving his speech in front of Congress on the 24th, and several politicians, well, a few notable
Hmm.
ones were protesting being there. It was interesting that Nancy Pelosi wasn't there, being that, she's been on board with all of this, just like everyone else, for so long. But Rashida Tlaib was also there holding a sign that said he's a war criminal in terms of the US Congress members. And I want to show a little bit of his speech. All of it was absolutely racist and horrific, but I don't want to editorialize. But I wanted to show a
All
little bit, and we can just pick it apart.
right. While she's pulling up that, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel and all that, and yeah, go to Patreon.com, become a member over there, and get footage that's rare. And also make sure that you tell some friends about this. This happens every Tuesday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we on the remix, we remix every day. You never know who you're gonna have on the show, but you know you're gonna have the ear doctor.
Well, yeah. Okay, here we go.
All right, let me pull that up for you. Bam.
I mean, really, like I said, I find it all to be terrible. So I think at any point we can just drop in. So let's take a listen.
Protecting you.
He says he's protecting us.
Oh, yeah, you bring it back. Come rewind.
Go back.
God damn, it's an hour or more.
Uses
Yes.
its many proxies, including the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas. Yet in the heart of the Middle East, standing in Iran's way, is one proud pro-American democracy, my country, the State of Israel.
Proud pro-American democracy.
State of Israel. Let's go.
Woo! Definitely not democratic at all. I wouldn't
Mm.
describe an apartheid regime as democratic.
More dictator.
No, I wouldn't describe it as democratic. No. So the reason why it's really difficult to even find clips where he's talking is because there were 53 standing ovations in the middle of his speech, which is why I assume it was so long.
That's why it was so long.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Standing ovations. Surprisingly, they did show a little bit of the protests that were happening outside. Let's take a look.
But he didn't have a car. So he ran 8 miles to the front lines of Gaza to defend his people.
He's a war hero now.
So they brought a lot. So he brought some IDF soldiers. He also IOF soldiers, excuse me, and those who have been held hostage. He also used their stories to speak about, their operations. He was speaking about how there were operations ongoing as he was speaking. So he's murdering people as he's talking, and people are cheering about this. Again, standing ovation.
All these suck ups.
2001. October 7th is a day that will forever live in infamy. It was the Jewish holiday of Simchat Torah. It began as a perfect day, not a cloud in the sky. Thousands of young Israelis were celebrating at an outdoor music festival. And suddenly, at 6:29 a.m., as children were still sleeping soundly in their beds in the towns and kibbutzim next to Gaza, suddenly heaven turned into hell. 3,000 Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel. They butchered 1,200 people from 41 countries, including 39 Americans.
This is a lie because it has been proven now both by Al Jazeera and Israeli outlets themselves that it was actually not Hamas that killed the majority of the people, but Israeli friendly fire, especially their doctrine, the Hannibal doctrine, which is kill anyone that is being taken captive because you don't know if, well, in their logic, kill anyone that's being held captive because they possibly might have information that they can get out of you. So take everybody out, including the hostage. So it's been proven that a lot of their own people were murdered by their own soldiers, not Hamas.
God damn, these motherfuckers is ruthless.
I mean, you could probably do a fact check on Netanyahu's speech and show that there are several points where these are just blatant lies.
And they just soaking it up like, yeah, whatever you say. So this is pretty much a cheerleading squad in this building he got right here.
I mean, and he's here. Why? Why is he here? To ask for more bombs, right? To kill more babies and entire families.
I mean, basically, so that they just trying to just blow up this whole land so they could just kill everybody and just take it.
Yeah,
colonize some more.
yeah, and not just
And the UN
historic
is just cool
Palestine.
with this.
The UN is culpable because it is a I mean, why was the United Nations set up? It was the idea of Woodrow Wilson, who was a colonist who showed Birth of a Nation at the White House. I know this because I went to Woodrow Wilson Elementary School,
Hmm.
and he was a blatant racist, anti-Semite, and his idea was to get nations of the world together. And I also wanted to work for this, so I was indoctrinated into this belief that all of these nations after World War II, which was Europe's fault in the first place. That all these nations after World War II would get together and create peace, right? But peace by colonial powers. How is that possible? Right? How is that possible? Right? So you saw week after week, especially on October 7th, right? You saw this black woman, right? Our
Mhm.
representative who was raising her hand for what? To continue with the genocide, right?
Mm.
Continue, abstain, even as evidence was mounting that civilians were being murdered, right? And I see in the chat, Soul Life is saying over 300 UN employees have been unalived and have been targeted by Israel, specifically within Palestine
Damn.
borders, right? And I think it was last weekend where UNRWA, right? We had this, if you remember a couple months ago, UNRWA, the foundation that provides most of the food for Gaza, was targeted specifically. They were saying, hi, we're going to uh, cease operations, but also Israel was trying to suggest that the workers who were working as a part of UNRWA staff were Hamas terrorists, right?
Mhm.
But if we break that apart, what is Hamas? What is the resistance if not the people that live within Palestine? The people within Palestine may go fight with the resistance, and they also have a day job trying to feed their family at UNRWA, right? But if you spin that, they are Hamas terrorists, right? So this is the rhetoric that got UNRWA defunded for the majority of this genocide. And it's only recently that European countries like um, like Norway, like the UK, have provided pretty much most of the funding for UNRWA. They're just starting to fund them again.
This is. I mean, this is like gangsterism to the max right here in front of our eyes. I mean, the fact that there's just like a colonialism is. That's what all the fuck they do is kill and take your land, colonizers, and they saying this is a peaceful thing, and they're standing behind them, and we're U.S. is just like, what are they funding them with some bombs or something? What are they doing?
Bombs, uh, soldiers. Remember the pier that was supposed to give aid, right? The $230 million pier that was built and destroyed a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
Well, that was actually used for an operation to put soldiers, US soldiers, on the ground to help out with, I believe it was the operation that killed over 200 people to rescue 4 hostages.
Mm.
So it wasn't even there for aid. They couldn't even get a few boxes of aid into Gaza. And remember, they were doing those airdrops, right? That were murdering people as the boxes fell from the sky, right? So, but I want to go back quickly to the
Mhm.
ICJ. So the ICJ and the UN are separate. And justice cannot be rendered by these international bodies that are run and staffed. I mean, where is the center of The Hague, the International Criminal Court that could potentially um, prosecute these people like Netanyahu? It's in the Netherlands, right? You know what the Belgians did to the Congo?
Oh yeah.
That's a whole show in and of itself, right? So how can justice be rendered? So recently, the
Mm.
ICJ ruled
ICJ
that
is who?
the ICJ is the International Criminal Justice Court, I believe. Don't quote
Okay.
me on that. I remember
Okay.
I cannot remember all of
Let
these
us know,
acronyms.
chat. Y'all know what we're doing.
International Court of Justice, I believe.
Okay.
Uh, they they can prosecute countries, but the ICC, don't remember the full name of that, they can issue arrest warrants for Netanyahu. And so that's why people are saying arrest Netanyahu,
For being a war
because
criminal.
they're harboring a war criminal.
Mm.
It's the equivalent of having Hitler come to Congress. And I don't say that
Mm.
anti-Semitically. I
Mm-hmm.
say that as this is the same Nazi superiority ideology. In fact, lots of early Zionists had the same sympathies that you would see later during World War II, back in the 19th century when they were starting with Zionism. So let me not get distracted. The ICJ just ruled that the establishment of settlements in the West Bank. So Gaza is where people are being slaughtered,
Mm-hmm.
but the other side also, in the West Bank, is full of these Israeli settlements. Okay, full of apartheid-like conditions, and people are also being directly targeted there as well. But the ICJ just ruled that these settlements are against international law. They've always been against international law, but Israel has been doing it anyway. So, sure, they can rule that these settlements are against international law, but who's actually going to enforce that?
Enforce
Is it
it,
going to
yeah.
be the United States?
Mm-mm.
No,
So who's gonna enforce it?
us, right?
Who's us?
Us. You,
Who's
me, and you, and everyone who's organizing around the world. I
ah?
mean, Hamas is holding the line. Let's be clear that we should absolutely salute the resistance both on the ground in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Yemen, right? What you don't hear is that Israeli ports like Eilat and Haifa are losing so much money because of the Ansarullah. You might hear them being called Houthi. That group based out of Yemen has
Mm.
been blocking trade pretty amazingly since the beginning of this. Also, the resistance holding the line in Lebanon, because you can just basically go back in time to any point, maybe 1982, where Israel doesn't just want to be within the borders of historic Palestine, but they want all of the region, right? This is the supremacy ideology up through Lebanon into greater Syria, right? In on towards Iran, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is not just a small piece of land. We're talking about an entire region,
Mm.
basically, an obliteration of cultures that have lived together for centuries. And it's really a part of Zionist ideology that Netanyahu comes to Congress to say that this has been only, especially a fight since October 7th. That's not true,
Mm.
right? This has not only been a fight since 1945. No, this has been a centuries long project, a settler colonial project, much like the United States. Because if you start questioning Israel, you have to question who? The United States, right? We are a settler colony.
Mm-hmm. So
So,
so what is this, like a religious thing, or is it just like
no.
is it a more like we're the first whites, we're the original white? What is it? What is
It's
it
not a
that makes
religious thing at
them?
all. I mean, for some people who subscribe to Zionist ideology, it is a
Mhm.
religious thing because they have melded Judaism with Zionism. But there are many people much more eloquent than me, like Rabbi Shapiro, who will speak to how this is antithetical to Judaism.
Mm.
Not only that, but people like Netanyahu and Trump, who is no more Christian than Netanyahu is Jewish, will use people's faith in order to get them to be a part of this project. Now, there are people for whom faith is central, like those in the Knesset. That's the Zionist Congress,
Mhm.
basically. Uh, they they do believe that they are people that are going to take over the Holy Land and create this space only for people who believe like them. But that is not the vast majority. The vast majority of people who support the Zionist project are actually Christians
Hmm.
who Christian Zionists. We spoke about this when we were talking about Kojic, right?
Hmm.
So these people have used their faith to prop up Zionism. Even if you look back to the early founders of Zionism, like Theodor Herzl and others, they say that if you look at their writings specifically, they say, oh, the Jews are those Jewish people in Europe, because remember, first this first generation of
Yeah.
Zionists were people that were in Europe. They were saying, oh, the reason why Jewish people in Europe have such a hard problem, or have a problem historically, is because they are terrible. This is Theodor Herzl, a Jewish man, saying this about other Jews throughout Europe, right? And he's like, the only way we can solve this problem is to get to a land, a promised land somewhere. And remember, this was not even the first place that they were going to choose. They were tossing around many different locations for this. They were thinking of Uganda.
Mm.
So really anywhere that they could steal the land and
And then use their religion to be like, this
to
is,
help out,
yeah.
sure. But like, it's not a religious based thing. So if you listen to our mainstream media, you'll say, oh, and if you listen to Netanyahu's speech too, he'll say, we're fighting these barbarians, these Muslims, right? What? And that completely erases Arab Jews, that completely erases Christian Palestinians. If you want to hear Christian Palestinian voices, I recommend Reverend Isar Munter Isok. He is a um, priest in, I believe, Bethlehem, and he's a Lutheran. And you may have seen back around Christmas the Christ in the Rubble, the Nativity
Hmm.
scene. Did you see that? So
Yeah.
that was first in his church. So he leads this whole conference called Christ at the Checkpoint, and it's really great. So organizing people of faith around this. So because a lot of people, even within denominations, are completely confused about this, because that is the Zionist ADL, that's the Anti Defamation League, doing the work. I mean, really, really putting in the work of confusing people to shit so that they don't understand that this is a colonialist project.
So with knowing this and having this knowledge, you were going to use religion to unify as being what were you, a preacher? What would you classify yourself as? Like how? Because you know how everybody's using religion to colonize, using it for excuse to do whatever the fuck they want to do. How are you going to use it?
Well, yeah, so I'm in training to be a Unitarian Universalist minister, which has its origins in the, I want to say, anti-orthodox faith strain. So I'll just really quickly, when Christianity was crystallizing,
Hmm.
there were people who were debating the ideas just like anything else. And Unitarians have been around from the beginning thinking, and they diverted from the idea that Christ, Trinity, there was a Trinity, right? They were saying there is one, God is one, there isn't a Trinity. And so people who um, believe that, they broke away. And the Orthodox Church, the what is considered to be the Catholic Church now, there's also Eastern Orthodox, which is a different thing. But the Catholic Church, which what came to be known as a Catholic Church, classified Unitarianism, this belief in one God and not a Trinity, as a heresy. So lots of people who kind of fell into that belief throughout
So
history have been kind of spread across
is that
Europe
like
to
Lutheranism? Martin Lutheranism?
Luther is a part of it. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't necessarily a Unitarian. He was someone that wanted to reform the way the Catholic Church was run. Now, this is in the 16th century. So
Mm-hmm.
so I say all that to say it comes out of Christianity, but if you talk to a lot of mainline Christians, that's like Protestant or even Catholic, Unitarian Universalists,
Mm-hmm.
especially once you add in the Universalist piece, um, they became one denomination, uh, Unitarian Universalists. If you speak to any other Christians that you might run into, UUs are generally not considered Christians, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's I feel like that does a disservice to people, especially those who are Unitarian in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
because they still very much see themselves as Unitarian Christians, which is a specific identity, and it looks a lot different
Mm.
than what you would see here in the States. So yeah, I'm training through that tradition, but
Because with the
and I'm also
history,
yeah,
go ahead with the. I'm
I
just
was gonna
thinking with
say
the
that
history. Right.
I what's great about it though is that you can be a Unitarian and have your beliefs. So you'll have Hindu you use, Jewish you use, and Prince's mom was actually a Unitarian Universalist. He grew up Unitarian Universalist. So fun music fact there that I know.
You know something about music, Prince? What?
Yeah, he grew up
Yeah.
Unitarian Universalist. In Minnesota.
Cause that cool is that he was what, a 7 day evangelist, or did I say that
I don't know
evangelist?
about that, but yeah,
But he
sure.
was one. He was something. Cause I was the ones that don't count their birthdays no more. Ain't that like Serena?
Like the tennis player?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. But
Mm,
okay, so back to the original thing I'm trying to figure out is knowing the history of religions
mm,
and how they've been used to colonize and how they've been used to divide.
yeah.
You still feel like you can use this to
Oh,
unify?
absolutely. I
Hmm.
think that, I mean, specifically from the Christian
Jehovah
standpoint.
Witness. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. Um, I think especially, I mean, I feel like that's what Jesus's work, especially from a Christian standpoint,
Hmm.
was all about. Like he was interested in getting people to be awake to the conditions that were around them, right? And asking the questions because he led a group of people out in the wilderness to go around. And also, if you put Jesus back both into his Jewish context, because Jesus was a Jewish man, right? One of my favorite stories about Jesus, I'll tell it quickly. One of my favorite stories about Jesus is that the part where he goes to um, Jerusalem, when he goes
Hmm.
to Jerusalem and gets lost in the temple, right? Gets lost, right? His family goes because they're good Jewish family and they're going to present Jesus at the temple. He's 13, right? Time
Hmm.
for his ceremony. But he gets lost and his family leaves. There's like thousands of people in Jerusalem and they're like, where was he? And they leave and Mary's like, we gotta go back. We gotta find him. Like, that's my baby boy,
What the
right?
fuck?
And then she goes back to the temple and Jesus is like, did you not know that I would be in my father's house, like about his business? Like, I love that a 13-year-old would sit there and be like, did you know that I was here, like spreading the good news? Like, I just love that. That's one of my
Wow.
favorite stories
So
about him.
I always thought he went like at a certain age when we talk about the stories of it. I thought he went at a certain age to go over to Egypt or somewhere and learn metaphysics, and that's how he learned how to heal people. Maybe I could
Yeah.
be wrong. Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, there's evidence that I mean, there's a lot of Christian historical monuments in eastern China in Kaifeng, I believe. And this is like early Christianity, so around oh, my dog is choking over here. Like
Mm.
the 8th century or there or before. So uh early Christianity has been in lots of different places. So but anyway, back to your question
Mm.
of this. I feel like the idea of a for me, I feel like the work of a spiritual community is to both be a place of rest and restoration, but to also help you get the tools to do the work that you need to do in the world. And that's like decolonizing your mind, that's having political education classes, that's, having places for people to eat, that's feeling like you can have conversations that you wouldn't be able to have elsewhere,
Mm.
and having that space to just like, from capitalism, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It seems like when it comes to like trying to unify and using the Bible, especially when you're dealing with other people of other faiths, it seems like the best way to use it, I guess, is just use it as a story and make certain references to things that's going on in the now. Other than because if you talk to somebody of a different faith, they're like, as soon as you start talking about Jesus, it's like, oh, I don't want to hear that. So,
Well, it's important to think about how, and I think this does relate to our earlier talk about Zionism,
mm,
which is that it's important to think about the history of Christianity in general, which was the religion of empire, right?
yes,
Like
that's how I
the
look at it.
early part of Christianity, like I'm talking about the first few centuries after Jesus' death, the people um about Jesus' timeline, these people were heavily persecuted, right? Like heavily murdered, like pogroms, right? But they were, I mean, these stories about Christians having to fight in colosseums if throughout the Roman world was true. The Romans were really worried about what they believed to be this fanatical cult that was asking them to break away from the way the Roman world was set up, which is to be worried about the emperor, right?
Hmm.
Worried about the state, worried about um, to be invested in the colonial project. If you have a group of people that are like, I don't really need a lot of money, or I should probably be a part of this, right? They also, Jewish people were still around at that time, right? Obviously. So to put, Christianity and Judaism back together, because, they do come from from a root.
Hmm.
Um, the Romans were also incredibly anti-Semitic for in many cities at least. And
Yeah.
so and so, but that all changed when the emperor decided to use Christianity as a tool, because you can't just, whip people under empire into shape. You have to give them something that makes it seem like it's a good idea to join, right? If
Yeah.
you are a part of empire, then you will be
You won't get killed.
upstanding and, like, great.
You down with
So,
this? You might not get killed. How about that? No, no
hey,
lotus and
so
all this shit happen to you.
none of that. No, 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 no. So
Where does
when the
Ethiopian
emperor,
Christianity even come into it? Then that's before the Roman Christianity, or
yeah,
did y'all even
so
study that too?
yeah, so
Okay.
when I mean, Ethiopia has one of the oldest Christian communities,
Hmm.
probably as old as the community in Palestine. That there was a church, I'm forgetting the name. I think it was Saint Porphyrius Church. It's like the third oldest church in Christendom that was destroyed by the Zionist entity earlier. So yeah, Ethiopian Christianity, super interesting. I want to learn more about it too, because um they also, because of the location, like in Lalibela, they were isolated in terms of a lot of the other Christian movements in Africa and that region in the Mediterranean. So the way that they practiced is really interesting, and I love to learn more. But there were always people that were um, moving throughout the empire, taking their religion with them. And so Ethiopia is just one of the places where they developed as well.
You know what's funny? As Minister Server is saying, big up Minister Server. According to their story, at the end of the day, it was the people that fronted on Jesus. I'm just saying. That kind of makes you be like, okay, you become a revolutionary, you become a person that's going against the system, and at the end of the day, when you think the people got your back after you done sacrificed and did all this stuff and became a martyr, the people are still like, you know. I mean, you see all this work that this brother has done, and then at the end of the day, the people like,
Because
it,
there is still the court of public opinion, right?
mhm.
Like, it really do be your old people sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it does.
so you
Oh
can't
man,
force people to liberation. That's the point.
yeah.
You can't make them choose it.
All right. Well, we've been all over the place today. I guess we could go ahead and take another break. I know we got
Let's do
Ricky
it.
supposed to be coming in around 9ish. So
Fabulous.
to talk about her endeavors on the where was she at? Nicaragua, where they make nicotine. All right. So let me go ahead and please let them know what they should do, LJ, while I pull up this next segment.
You should smash that like button and help us out in the algorithms. Remember, we are still being held under the thumb of capitalism and not being monetized, right? For the next
Yep.
few days. So help us out. Help us out.
All right. With that said, let's go ahead and take a quick break right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Peace.
Oh, wrong one. Hit the wrong button. Big up, y'all. Big up, y'all. Like you said, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel as we talk about this, that, and the third and everything and put out the word, the good word. Once again, what I wanted to do is go into, well, actually what happened is yesterday they had a thing called Wind Down Wednesdays, right? Where you go to a free concert and they rock out. So yesterday they had Tony. I was supposed to go. I was all dressed fresh and ready to go and everything. Tony, Howard Hewitt, Bobby V, and Kelly Price. And I was about to go, and then the rain came down like crazy, so I was mad. But I thought about it, and I was like, damn, Kelly Price. I don't really know a lot of songs by Kelly Price. So I was like, let me look and see what Kelly Price has done. So let me speak about the one and only Kelly Price. All right, so Kelly Price, let me tell you about her. Oh, there we go. All right, Kelly Price coming straight out of New York, Far Rockaway, Queens. Started as a singer in the church. She gospel singer. She began her career in 1992. She performed background vocals for Mariah Carey on multiple songs, including two big ones, All I Want for Christmas Is You and Fantasy. And in 97, she got credits for being the singer on More Money, More Problems with B.I.G. and also Feel So Good with Mace. So yeah, if you was wondering who that voice was singing that is Kelly Price. I did not know that. So that made her do her debut album, Soul of a Woman, back in 1998. And she received platinum certification, and it led to a single called Friend of Mine, featuring Mr. Kelly and Ron Isley. So after that, she came out with this banger right here. Heartbreak Hotel, and this came out and got a Grammy Award nomination for Best R&B Performance by a Duo and Group with Vocals. Her second album, Mirror Mirror, came out in 2000, and another album, Priceless, came out in 2003. Didn't do the biggest, but it did all right. But then she came back and got a award after being on the Kanye West song called Ultra Light Beam and Low Lights off his album, The Life of Pablo. So Price has won the Soul Train Music Award and received 9 Grammy Award nominations. And like I said, she got about 8 albums, and she won the award on that Ultra Light Beam. So big up to Kelly Price. I'm going to have to dig into some more of her music to see what's what. I guess due to her singing a lot of gospel music, I have not listened, but I shall. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning crew, which is me and LJ, because you know how we do. All right, and once again, say her name, y'all. Say her name, say her name, say her name. Yeah. Do you know anything about Kelly Price? No, I don't think so. Yeah, on mute right now, El Jizay.
Okay,
Still on. There
hello.
we go. Yeah, there we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I feel like did she do a lot of gospel music too?
Yeah, a lot of gospel
Okay.
music.
So I know a lot of her gospel stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Other than that, but she's a hell of a voice. She's a hell of a voice, and I was amped to go see it yesterday. I was mad that the rain came down like it did. So it is what it was.
What other
Yeah.
concerts have you been to? I mean, as a DJ, can I ask you a question on the spot?
Sure.
So, what concerts or acts have you enjoyed as a DJ? Because, I'm sure you are very
Okay.
critical of your experiences.
The best singing performance I seen was Jill Scott at the Fox Theater here in Atlanta. She totally controlled and did her thing on that stage. Also, a group that comes out of DC, Fertile Ground. This is a group where this one singer is she's dancing, singing, and with the live band, and it's very dope. A concert I lost my voice at was MOP. MOP is a very hardcore hip hop group where it's about beating somebody up, taking their money, ante up, get that food type stuff. So that was
Mhm.
wild. And the last one I would say is an NERD concert, and that's Pharrell
Mm.
and the other two brothers when they was doing like the rock and roll type shit. That concert, oh my god, you talking about people on the crowd and like fall on the crowd and people pushing them up in the air. One of my homeboys, he was
Got crowd surfed?
crowd surf, lost his
Nice.
wallet in the whole nine. But that album right there, that NERD, die, fly. What the fuck is the
Yeah.
name of the album?
What's it called?
Die or fly, or fly or die, something like that.
Yeah, I did like NERD. Yeah.
Man, now what about you?
Well, hang on. I wanna do a comment. Blood
Okay,
Honey says,
Blood
tell
Honey.
Ear Doctor she used to sing Backing for Mariah.
That's yeah. She
Wow.
was listening to the thing. I said that.
Oh, sorry. Well,
That's all
yeah.
good, Blood Honey.
Doing a
You
lot.
know, you know.
Um, I just carried the show for an hour, so I'm a little like,
Oh no,
you
not
know.
you. I'm just saying, Blood Honey didn't listen. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I talked about that. I said she was on the song "All I Want for Christmas" and Destiny and what is it? Destiny? What the fuck is the name of that? Fantasy.
the best slash worst Christmas song ever. All I want.
Oh my God!
Um, yeah, every
Every
time.
time, every Christmas, that's the number one song.
It's
Now,
the number one song.
what about you, Miss Concert Goer?
I don't know. Does it count that I've been to like a lot of um like theater performances of dance? Like because I feel like those are great.
True.
Um like the small sets of like dance, like those are great. So I got to see Carlos Vives, who's a Colombian musician in
Mm,
concert, and that was great. I wish I was alive to see him like when he had first started, because I imagine in the big arena with all the drums, and he puts in all the instruments from Colombia, so like it's got a lot of cumbia feeling in it. I love the um, oh, I love the drums. I love that.
I
So
remember
that's
Tito
probably one of
Puente.
the
That was
best.
good. Yeah, yeah, Tito
Yes.
Puente. Woo!
Woo! Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Drums. Yeah, yeah. Drums is it. Live performances is it. Hip hop is cool. Trust me, I love hip hop to death. But the live joints, like watching the Roots. If you ever see like the Roots perform, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, I can imagine concerts like, I don't know, any reggae artist probably, and
Mm.
like Fela Kuti and like I'm thinking of the big 70s bands too.
Buju Banton had a
Ooh, I
great
feel like that
show.
would be great too.
Yeah, it was good. It was just like 2 in the morning. So
Well,
you've been standing there since like because you know reggae concerts or
or
shows
like
always
eight
start.
hours long. Yeah.
They're like they don't start till like 1 or 2 in the morning. Yeah, so you get to the
Well,
club
that's
around
great. You
11.
just sleep all day and then have a light dinner,
Hmm.
right? And then head to the venue.
Oh, yeah, and
You gotta prep.
I did see Femi Kute
Wow.
also. That was a good show. So yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And speaking of since we're on this topic of best and worst, what was your best and worst vacation besides this one, which you ain't even get
This was
nowhere?
not going to be a vacation, okay? This was going to
Yeah,
be
that's
a
work.
BLM
Yeah.
exclusive.
Hmm.
My best vacation. Oh, I want to say Vietnam was my best vacation.
What? That was
Mhm.
that. Do they have a beach in Vietnam?
Viet- you
I
better
know.
put some respect on Vietnam.
I know nothing of Vietnam. All I
Vietnam
know
is
is
literally
they was in a
miles
war.
and miles and miles of coastline.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Vietnam is fabulous. Fabulous coffee, fabulous fruits.
I don't get out much,
Um,
especially out the country.
clearly not. Clearly not. You haven't looked at a map in all the time you've been doing the weather, ear doctor. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna start doing weather in Vietnam. You're right. My bad.
Come on. Come on.
We give a fuck about Vietnam's weather, but
You
continue.
probably should because it's an anti-imperialist powerhouse. So, you should
Okay.
don't sleep on
So
Vietnam.
what happened in Vietnam that was so great on your vacation here?
Oh, it was just beautiful. I mean, the weather is fantastic. It's very like indoor outdoor living, which I love because the weather is like 72 Fahrenheit where we were. And I went there around Christmas. So we were in Hanoi and they decorated the streets and it was beautiful. And everybody was so nice and
Mm,
like pleasant and like yeah. I
mm,
Oh, and I got some amazing clothes tailored. Excellent.
mm.
Excellent.
Okay,
Mhm,
okay.
mhm.
I had to say one of my best. I had a couple, but one of the best was Puerto Rico for me. I got to go to a club. Me and my sister went to a restaurant and dined and ditched. And also at this club, I ran into Juwan Howard, the basketball player.
I don't know who that is. Nice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
basketball player. And
Excellent.
then one of the sisters that was at the club was smoking the little trees, and I was like, "Hey, can I partake?" And it was
Wonderful.
good. And I got to see somebody beat up in front of the club. That was wild. And it was for the regatta, the whole boat race. If I said that right.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
did. Good
yeah.
job. Yeah.
Hey, I try sometimes. And my
Well,
worst, Dominican Republic.
DR. Why was it
DR,
terrible?
because I got sick, ate some fish that didn't work in
That'll
my
do it.
system.
That'll do
Yeah,
it.
so it messed. But it was dope because we did the ATV joints, went to the clubs, got rode in a police car, and it was a wild vacation. It was
Oh my
just my
gosh,
stomach was messed up.
go back. Did you steal the police car? Were you escorted into the police car? Like,
Nah, I
what
was
was it a police museum? What?
nah. We was walking down the street with my homeboy. He had on mad jewelry. I know I told this before. Had on mad jewelry, and then the police just pulled us over. Was like, y'all must not be from here. And I was like, nah, we're vacationing. He's like, come get in the car. Let's drive you back to your hotel. So that
You
was
were
the one
escorted.
time, huh?
You were
I
escorted.
was escorted. That was the one time the police actually did something right. Yeah, they escorted us back to the hotel so we wouldn't get robbed. We was just walking through the hood like, fuck it. So
Wow.
yeah, you live and you learn. What's
That
your
was a lot.
worst spot you went to?
Well, this is kind of like a best and worst because even though Japan is still really on its imperialism track, I have had amazing vacations in Japan, but I had a terrible one time because I went scuba diving and I got the worst ear infection I've ever had in my life. Like, and by the time I got back home, like I
Mm,
was boiling. I was like 102. Like,
mm,
yeah. So that was horrific.
yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and
Hmm.
then I went to Bermuda. Bermuda, my sister's adopted, so we got to meet her whole family.
Oh wow.
Yeah, got to meet all them. And one of her cousins took me out. We went in John Blazed, and then we went to this golf course and played football, soccer for the day, and that was real cool. I'm gonna have him on the show probably next week. He's actually
Lovely.
doing some work in Africa where he's building some schools and stuff like that. So he's gonna come on and we're gonna talk about that. So yeah,
Lovely, lovely.
yeah. So I don't know if we have anything else. We could end this show early today if we want.
Oh. I mean,
Yeah.
I am pretty tired after carrying for the hour, but
Hey,
I
can
don't
you?
want to leave people. I don't want to leave people.
I
So,
hear you, but can you believe how Jackie and Jared and all them get on here and talk like by themselves for 2 hours straight?
well, I could do that, but
You could.
because they're prepared. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But on not
That
knowing
is
that
what
I
you
was
do.
gonna
What am I talking about? You're
that
a
is what I
preacher.
do. Yeah. Yeah,
All
I could
right,
totally do that.
all right. So
But
we got
yeah,
to you better prepare for a day like this when
a script, yeah, or
everybody
something.
doesn't show up. Cause
Yeah.
I guess yes, people have things to do. Some things happen out on the road, but they'll be all right, man. You know what I'm saying? We gave them a whole hour and 17
What do
minutes
you
almost.
think? Will you be sad, everybody, if we leave early?
Ah, they
Let us
find
know.
something to do. They'll find something to do.
I mean, let's soldier on. Let's soldier
Let's
on
soldier
till
on.
9:30,
Okay,
maybe. Could we
okay,
do that?
okay.
Could we do that?
All right. And matter of fact, here's what I'll do. Since we're just freestyling today, I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat room. And if somebody has something to come on, give a
Oh,
shout out or
lovely.
something to add to the a conversation, they can come on and just don't be on no crazies, cause I will talk about you and exit you right up out of here, stage
Exit.
left even, like the guy on Apollo with the hook. I don't play that shit. So so other than that, what you got planned this weekend? Anything?
Um, I
Rest?
maybe might make an appearance at the People's Forum. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna see if I can get down there Friday. And then the county fair this Saturday. My partner won tickets on the radio. She's also
What?
really cool.
People still
So,
listen to the radio
yeah.
and win on the radio?
Well, when you're in the car for hours and hours, like, you got nothing to do. So, yeah, we're going to the county fair on Saturday, hopefully.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
throw some
I love
balls at.
carnival games. I love carnival
Yeah,
games. Yeah.
I'm pretty good at games. I'm real good at games. I'm good at sports games, all that stuff. I'm ridiculous. People don't like me sometimes because I win all the time. Like,
No, oh, Brother Jamil's asking if I'm leaving. No, not leaving forever, just like for today, you know?
oh yeah. I just got a couple DJ gigs this weekend, so that's about it. I will do a Sundays this Sunday because I missed the last Sunday doing a gig, but yeah, doing that, and then I'm working on. I was working on and not saying nothing, but I'm working on starting to do online DJ classes. So for all,
Online DJ class. So wait a minute. Do you
mhm.
really feel that that is like, how do you feel in terms of like the teaching method? Like, can you get the feel and the oomph and the whatever online?
Yeah, I appreciate. I oh, somebody said I appreciate it. Dog. Big up Pookie Wood. All right. I'm plotting on Spades Revenge. You better plot that Spades Revenge. Me and Kamal was ready whenever you want it. Go get your boy Jared and see if he don't be a renegade this time, and then
Let's
maybe y'all
play
win.
blackjack. I'm down for that. Yeah.
Yeah. But nah, I feel like it's gonna be pretty dope. As in teaching online too, because it's not really hard as long as somebody. Because I was looking at it even as a date, like a date night. Like you want to do something different, you want to learn something. Say you just want to do you don't want to go to a movie or something. I want to learn how to DJ. So you come and take a hour course. You know what I'm saying? And I could pretty much show you how to count the beats, how to use the equipment, how to talk on a mic, how to do everything you need to be a DJ, transitions and all that stuff. So it's something that you can add as a trade, something that a lot of people just want to learn, especially since you're able to afford the technology to do it now. Because back in
Hmm.
the day, ain't nobody had no money to buy all this equipment, so it
No.
wasn't so many DJs. Now you got DJs coming out here, there, and everything. So yeah, but I could do
Cool.
that. But I'm also because I teach, I've taught DJing online before, and I also did it face to face. Face to face is always best, but I could do both. So I would
Mm.
say in August, get ready. You'll see the
Wait,
advertise. What up?
can you pull up that comment from Yipper? That's wild. The
Yipper, yip, yip,
LAPD is
yipper,
allowed to
yipper,
carry
yipper,
guns in the
yipper.
French Olympics. What?
What? Let me find Yipper. How
Why?
far back ago was this?
No, it's just now.
Oh my. Okay, let's see. Here we go. LAPD is allowed to.
LAPD? Is that what? Gonna have to look at that. Should I
Wait a
that's
minute.
something for me to Google.
So the Olympics are in France, Paris, right?
Yes, the Summer
So what the
Olympics are
hell
in
was the
Paris this year.
LAPD doing in France?
Well, it's an excellent question,
That's
but as we
yeah.
know, international. Let me do some Google.
Okay, you push mute. So she's doing some googling, and while she's doing that googling, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I just put the link in the chat room for somebody that want to come on and actually have something to say. Want to give a shout out. We doing this Sundays radio style at the end of the day now, right here on the Remix Morning Show. So you want to give a shout out we can allow you to do that. Big up to you and yours out there for tuning in and keeping us on the air. This is our we going on 4 years, but this is 3.5 years we rocked so far with y'all, and appreciate y'all for bringing us up to this level where we at now. We got a lot more to do for you and yours. All right, we got LJ.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, let me pull it up.
All right. All right. So
So,
go ahead.
LAPD officers allowed to carry guns at Paris Olympics after France makes exception. Oh mon Dieu. Oh mon Dieu.
We. That's the only
Oh
thing I know.
no. Eager to ramp up security preparations for the 2028 Summer Olympics, LAPD is sending a small cadre of officers to Paris for this year's games. What? Well, LA Times says this. In a bit of a geopolitical flex, LAPD had a hand in convincing the French government to temporarily suspend its law against overseas police officers being armed in the country.
Hmm.
32 LAPD reserve officers and a supervisor will travel overseas next week as part of the Olympic delegation to work at event sites across the country under supervision of the French National Police and the Gendarmerie, according to law enforcement documents reviewed by The Times. France will cover the officers' airfare, wow, and
Huh.
lodging expenses, but not meals. Okay, we didn't do everything. We
Y'all
didn't do
got
the
y'all gotta pay for
meals.
that.
Okay.
Y'all want
Okay.
some French fries? Y'all better pay for that.
Uh, ridiculous. Visiting officers won't wear body cameras, according to documents outlining plans for the
Oh
trip.
damn.
Although they will be in full uniform and armed with their service weapons, their duty will be largely ceremonial. More, huh? What does that mean? More to provide a visible presence than make arrests. A visible presence for what? Or assist with crowd control. Wow.
So
Addition.
this is more to protect the Americans that's over there.
Lord,
What?
this is, I'm just floored by this because I mean, I shouldn't be, right? I shouldn't
Yeah,
really
I
be
mean,
surprised that the US has managed to get France to suspend
allowed them to sneak guns in the club.
sneak
Continue.
guns. So how but why are they there to provide a visible presence? For what? Um Let's see. Foreign police and military personnel from non-European Union nations are typically forbidden from being armed, and acting in their law enforcement capacity on French soil. But former LAPD chief Michael Moore and other police administrators helped talk the government into temporarily relaxing its rules, and it has been in the works since a 2020 visit to France. I want to learn more about why they would simply like agree to this deal because I want to know how let's see. As a part of LA's preparation for 2028, some of the city's Olympic subcommittees started meeting, okay? Um Interim Chief Domestic Choi said that Dominic Choi said that despite the ongoing struggles in hiring and retaining officers, he's confident that the department will be ready by the time the games are rolled around. So, me thinks, and this is just my on the spot
Me think.
opinion,
Jar
I
Jar Binks.
think that I think that this is just to bulk up the fact that been a lot of unrest in France, right? Like they had the snap French elections where Macron was slated to. I'm gonna stop sharing and then
Oh, I got you.
where Macron was slated to, he thought he was going to lose. And so he said, all right, I will offer a snap election. And they were really fear mongering that the right was going to sweep. I mean, France, just like everywhere else in Europe, pretty frequently is moving towards the right, like Germany. Like Germany is raiding mosques and Palestinian conferences at the moment, really going backwards. However, perhaps this is to provide some type of presence for all the diplomats and folks that will be at the Olympics to get international donors, I
Hmm.
assume, and companies to feel safe in France because of those unruly French people. And I do wonder though about the LAPD specifically, because the LAPD is notorious for being literally a gang. I mean, they're all
Mhm.
gangs, but uh, they are notoriously terrible. So I do wonder why it's specifically LAPD. So
Yeah.
I will be
Who
I
are
do want to look into
notoriously
that.
terrible.
Who are notoriously terrible. So I wonder like how many African people will be targeted. France does have a police brutality pandemic
Mhm.
endemic, just like we do. Young Arab and African youths who migrate from the Sahel due to France's imperialist leanings in these nations. These people are targeted in France as well. So I wonder how many African folks will be shot um, while these cops are in the city. And there's a comment here I see from, I like your name, Old Dirty Kung Fu. We need more people to start being vocal about the 1033 program and other policies created in conjunction with the anti riot act laws. You're absolutely correct. The 1033 program, which is um, militarization of the police departments around the country exchanging weapons direct from the military, but also amongst each other, um, related to cop cities that have already been in planning stages for quite a long time. It's not just in Atlanta, but also other nations around the U.S. So I'm wow, I'm floored by that. Thanks, Yipper, for that.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, the fact that you're just going to stop and frisk out in France, this is crazy.
Again, African youth are notoriously um thought of as, scum of the earth in France. African and Arab youth, I would say, and France is really on its tip in terms of um Islamophobia
Hmm.
and violence against mosques that are happening against not protecting its own citizens against far right extremists. When you have like a person like Marie Le Pen who is in office after supporting openly anti-Semitic rhetoric, anti queer rhetoric. It's just like everything possible, and these people are there at the parliament just spouting this stuff, whipping up fear that Muslims are coming over the border to steal French jobs. I mean, similar rhetoric that we have in the United States, and there can only be violence, right,
Pretty
when
much.
that occurs.
Oof. Boy, boy, boy. Listen, if y'all got some more stories y'all think we should pull up, go ahead and put them in the chat room. We're going to take a quick break because we're going to try to push through. We're going to
We'll
push
push
through,
through.
LJ.
Push through.
We're going
Okay.
to push through. We're going to take a quick break. And we actually had, let me see. That is the wrong button. All right. So we had, big up to my homeboy Zaki. He said, give us
Mm,
a sample of what you will learn from the DJ class, Ear Doctor. And for this next
let's do
break,
that.
I shall do that. All right. So right here on the Remix Morning Show, let's go. All right. So this right here is what you call a blend. This is the remix on the remix, in case you didn't know. So right here we got the beat from Mobb Deep, and now let's put something on top of it. Instead of put some more rap, let's put some R&B on it. Check this out.
It's a blessing to see people with their heads up to the sky still. 'Cause honestly, for the same people, life can be so real.
Let's go.
I'm amazed by all your strength, I am. And I'm grateful you come through. Yeah. So I take this time to stop a moment and show my gratitude for you.
Come on.
I'm a lighter in the air for you.
Put 'em up.
see what you're doing, yeah, I see what you go through. Put my lighter in the air. The truth is you're beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Let's go.
Now put your lighter in the air for us.
Put 'em up.
Everybody singing together, sing a new song. Put your lighter in the air for love. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
All right, let me take you to a place in time. Let's take you back to 1996. We talking about Mobb Deep. This album right here was off a movie soundtrack called Sunset Park. The name of the song is called Back At You. Now, that was the beat, and then on top of it, we laid down a guy that goes by the name of Molly Music. And he came out in 2014 with this album, Molly Is. The name of that song is beautiful. So that's what you have. That right there is called a blend. A blend, y'all. When you blend two things together and they come out better and better. All right, boom. So with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Crew. You know how we do. Yeah. All right. So now you know a blend. Oh, you're on mute. Yeah.
Of course,
So
I am.
that's so that's as Raj, big up. That is a mashup right there. Also called a blend, a mashup of two songs, two genres coming together. So
I don't know both of those people. Can you tell me about them?
Who? Mobb Deep?
No, oh, yes, I know
You know
the
Mobb Deep.
name, but I
Okay.
don't know like the stuff, like anything.
Okay. Mobb Deep pretty much is a hip hop group, came out of Queens, New York. Too young, came out very young. Their first album didn't do the best, but then their second album, Infamous, came out and has that big song Shook Ones, as you've heard probably in the what is it, the Eminem movie when he was about to get ready to go on rhyme and they played Shook Ones, and yeah, that's a real big song, but that's a classic album. You talking about hip hop classic albums, that Infamous album is definitely a classic. Now, Molly Music, he's a younger, newer artist. I don't know a whole bunch about him, but I know he got a good voice, and I know he sings about his content is good. So, that's what I can say. And I see right there, he's saying Molly Music is a gospel dude. I don't know. He might be. Big up to Greg Levy.
Ooh,
But
exciting.
yeah, that first album, Juvenile Hell, it had a like one song that came out off of that one that was something. But yeah, listen, if you talk about some of the best, and Prodigy, which is one of he made his transition a while back, and he was one of the first artists to have sickle cell that we knew of.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know what sickle cell is, and now you see they got this movie on Netflix called Supercell. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's
haven't
about
seen it yet.
okay, it's about black people that got sickle cell, and that sickle cell is helping them to be able to have a certain superpower. Because a lot of people don't know about sickle cell. I didn't learn about sickle cell till my brother right there, Zaki, said he might possibly have a trait of sickle cell. So I knew nothing about it.
Mm,
Have you know anything about sickle cell?
I just know that it was not really researched for uh quite a while because it affected a lot of African people, but
Mm,
not the only folks that get sickle cell. So,
mm.
folks were saying it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
It was good. I watched it,
yeah.
and they're definitely gonna have another season. I could see from how it ended. Or did I just mess that up? You'd be all right. But yeah. So those are certain things I want to teach in the class transitions, how to drop a certain song, because sometimes it's all about just dropping it. Forget a transition. If the song is that dope, you want to hear it from the beginning. When that beginning comes in, you like, oh, it's like a certain song like Back That Ass Up. You don't have to you don't have to make that transition. You just play that beginning. Like, let me give you an example. Keep talking, please.
Well, I'm excited to learn because I always find that DJ turntables are really cool looking, but I don't know what all of the buttons mean.
So
So this is
so
exciting,
so as soon as when you drop a certain song, it's just like as soon as you hear this,
right?
that right there is like, all right, black people, start coming to the dance floor.
All right, black people.
It is. I'm telling you. It's like, all right, black people, put your drinks down. So you'll see all the women put their drinks down and start running to the floor real quick with their high heels on. and get ready to back that thing up.
Uh,
So it's
oh,
a
can you do well, I don't know. Can you do
what?
it when you get nicked? I really like the beginning of Eve. Who's that
Who's that girl?
girl? Can you
Okay,
do that? Can you do that?
I'll see if I got that one. Who's that girl?
I always love the it's a horn section again, right? So I really enjoy an
Let me
intro to a
find out I
horn.
ain't got that one in here. My bad. Ooh,
Wow.
and then I gotta
Oh,
pay. I
really?
got it now. They got you paying $20 a month to use Title to be able to stream songs and play them while you DJing. So I'm still figuring out if I want to do that. I'm just cheap.
So this is a problem with capitalism again, my guy. This is why
That's how they get you.
musicians need to own.
Yeah,
Artists are being squeezed, correct?
cause I
So,
think what was happening is you would join the DJ pool and you would pay like 20 something dollars a month and then be able to pull different songs from different genres and stuff. Now with the Title streaming, you could pull different songs down. So they was like, wait a minute, we're just giving them this for $10 a month. Why ain't we doing $20 and they can pull down?
uh,
So they said let's keep up with the Johnsons. I don't know if that's the neighbors we was
okay.
talking about, but yeah.
The Johnsons, that's hilarious. That's so funny.
So pretty much that's it. And yeah, that'll be coming out soon. And more shows, more everything here on Black Liberation Media we got into them for you.
Yay.
I'm just amped and getting ready to do this after school program again. I'm just ready to see my kids again. Not my personal kids, but our
The
kids.
kids
You know
at
what I'm saying?
school.
The kids
Yeah.
at school. Yeah, and to see how they've grown from here to there with over a summer and really sit down and do the podcasting with them and really find out how they summer went. Get into a bunch of because I look at it as a mental health. They don't ever get to really talk in school,
Mm,
not until at the end of the day. And then what I'm looking at doing now, since especially with the whole Georgia thing and them not allowing African studies to be taught,
right?
I'm looking at seeing how to bring that in since I know a little African history and studies. I'm seeing how to bring that in also into the conversations when we have podcasts so they can learn some stuff. Because they're not going to teach them in class, but there's certain ways we can still get this into these schools. So look up Urban Tech Academy for all those out there that want to know about some of the stuff that we're doing, and that's part of it. It's bringing in not just technology, but having a knowledge of self and a knowledge of where we're going and what we need from the past to get us to the future. So we're able to bring in art. We're able to bring in trades. We're talking about songwriting. You're talking about DJing. You're talking about podcasting. Different other things that you can do besides the regular get a job at Amazon. So, you know.
Oh. Well, I have a story. So thanks for that.
Oh, let's go. Go
Okay.
to Amazon. It led to
No,
it. Oh,
no.
okay.
Well, your cute little segue gave me
Oh,
time to Google. So,
nice.
this is a story that I wanted to do, I think last week, but we didn't get to it. So a judge orders review of Alameda County death penalty cases over potential exclusion of Black and Jewish jurors. A federal judge has ordered Alameda County District Attorney Pamela Price to review all of the California counties' death penalty cases over concerns of prosecutorial misconduct.
Feel like
So there's
Aretha Franklin.
really, she does a little bit.
Hmm.
Okay. Alameda County District, I'm not going to read all that. Alameda County DA Pamela Price said all of this California county's death penalty cases are under review after her office found evidence that prosecutors in a 30-year-old case had excluded Black and Jewish people from the jury. When you intentionally exclude people based on their race, their religion, their gender, or any protected category, it violates the Constitution. The evidence that we have uncovered suggests plainly that many people did not receive a fair trial in Alameda County. Price said she was acting at the direction of U.S. District Judge Vince Chilabrea, who is hearing an appeal for Ernest Dykes. Dykes was sentenced to death in 1995 after being convicted of the attempted murder of Bernice Clark and the murder of her 9-year-old grandson, Lance Clark, during an attempted robbery in 1993. He won a stay of execution in 2011 and has argued that he wasn't afforded the opportunity of a fair trial. Um, let's see. While reviewing Dykes' case file, a deputy district attorney from Price's office found handwritten notes by prosecutors that appeared to show that they had intentionally excluded Jewish and Black female jurors from the jury pool. Let's see. These notes, especially when considered in conjunction with evidence presented in other cases, constitute strong evidence that in prior decades, prosecutors from the office were engaged in a pattern of serious misconduct, automatically excluding Jewish and African American jurors in the death penalty cases. We are looking at cases that go back potentially as far back as 1997.
Hmm.
So I thought this article had some like actual examples of what people wrote. Like not this one, and I was like, wow. So I wanted to do that story last week. So these are people that have been potentially on death row for over 40, 50 years, or at least within the system for that long. And death row is not a fun place to be.
Nah, when you talk about the record label, Neil. Oof.
Yeah.
Ah, what a world.
So justice in Oneida County or anywhere in the United States that's not really a possibility, I argue.
Justice. Just us.
Oh, there's a comment from Kai that says Kai Key, sorry if I mispronounced. Handwritten notes excluding jurors sounds like Mia's case. Oh my goodness, that happened in Mia's case also. Wow.
Hmm. Oh, Kai. I believe we met Kai in D.C. Big up, Kai. Kai
Nice,
got
nice,
up and
nice,
asked the
nice,
question.
nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, I don't even know what to say after that. I mean, that's what it
And
is.
now I wonder like how like if it's just this county, is it other counties also? Like how many
Mm-mm.
other counties and how many people are on death row now, specifically with this happening in their I assume there are lots of unlawful convictions on death row. Um let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela Rice is being recalled for that. Excellent. She should be
Being recalled for what?
for this
Mm.
like this happening at least partially under her watch.
Hmm. I mean,
Uh
those prisons, especially the private prisons, is straight up businesses. They like, listen, we gonna make some money off these niggas, as much as we can, and keep them up in here. So
yeah. Yeah.
tho- that's what those are, businesses. And I remember back in a while ago, a lot of us was like, I ain't fucking with Michael Jordan because he invested in private prisons. To find out it was another guy named Michael Jordan, it was like,
So
oh.
it wasn't the superstar, it was
It
some other
wasn't the
Michael Jordan?
basketball player
Oh,
Michael
that's
Jordan.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we was like, fuck Michael Jordan. There was a whole
Yee.
nother Michael Jordan. Yeah. So,
Ooh.
hi. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, with that said, we had a great week of politics and a whole lot of different changes going on. What did you think about Biden last night? Did you get to watch his speech?
I didn't. I just kind of looked at him kind of wide-eyed staring at the screen, and it's like, "Oh,
He's
poor
alive.
man.
He's
He's holding
alive.
on for dear life. He's holding on for dear life, that
Yeah.
man."
It's like
Yeah,
when you look up the word feeble in a dictionary, he's like,
bless him. And well, it's just because, like, it's not even that necessarily. It's like this man is still, like, um, he's got the nuclear codes, and he's still and you know what? The fact that I do wonder when I mean the Democrats were deciding to let him turn down this
mm-hmm,
nomination, because it's like, wow, really, you're going to give the American people, we don't even elect them anyway, it's actually electors that do it, but you're going to give us how many months to 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 I don't know, get behind Kamala. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I fully endorse her. And he knew full well that people were, you know, not happy with him for a long time, you know? He knew
Mm.
full well. Like, who died on the Supreme Court because they just couldn't retire for some reason.
Oh damn. It was like, you know what?
Was it Ruth Bader Ginsburg who was like, you know what? I'm just gonna die in office. I don't want to step aside. Like, are you serious?
Mm. I'm interested to see these debates. Like, that's the popcorn pull outer. Like Kamala, actually, I still can't.
Kamala,
Kamala,
Kamala.
Yeah, when her and Trump go at it, that's the popcorn pull outer. That's gonna be
She's
hilarious. I would say.
like, I do wonder, like, because when she's talking, it to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, is she like a real person? Because like she's like saying the same things over and over. There's this really good clip of her with her catchphrase of what's her catchphrase? Unburdened by what the previous generation was burdened by, or something like that. But she
Hmm.
says this same thing. There's like a clip of like 40 minutes of her saying the same thing.
That's her go-to.
That's her go-to. And like, what does that even mean? And she's still doing the same thing. She's just as establishment as Joe Biden. Like, but now all of these AKAs, all of the black women, they're like, come on, black women, vote for Kamala. It's
Yeah.
like,
Ski
we're gonna get
wee.
the same thing. We're gonna get the same thing.
Oh man, it's dangerous. It's really causing a divide out here. I really see that because you got a lot of brothers that's like, because a lot. I would say some brothers are looking at it like, damn, we want to put a black sister in here. They got a white man for a husband, and then at the same time, how she kept all those prisoners in after their due date to make some money off of them, and then being behind this whole in office while the whole Palestine thing is going down. And I don't even know. It's a lot of other things I'm sure we can point the finger that's been done on their watch. So it's like that, and then the sisters is like, how you ain't gonna put a sister in the office? How you ain't gonna vote to get a sister in the office?
Mm-mm.
So it's a more division going on right now. A lot of division going on. So
I
I
think
don't
there
know
are
how it's
lots of
gonna roll.
other reasons to not want Kamala to be president other than her having a white man. I feel like because I guess you can pull from like the image of what is supposed to be like a presidential candidate, right? Like
Mm.
no one who's single, at least in America, I feel like at the moment, this is all antithetical. It's all Lucretia's or LJ's musings.
Yeah.
But
like Naka
um
Ponders. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, like if you're single, if you're divorced, it's like no, you have to have like this beautiful, perfect style family. Like America's not ready for like,
Hmm.
non-traditional roles, let's say. And so, yeah, there's something to be said there about that, but I think there's plenty of other reasons to not want Kamala in office.
Because I was wondering how sisters would feel if there was a white guy running with a black wife. Would it be
I think people would have similar like those comments that you're making, but again,
or a
like
black guy with a white wife? My bad. A black person running with a
I think
white
there would
wife.
still be lots of talk about like
Hmm.
socially what does that mean and
Yeah.
how do people like try to present themselves. But again, if it's a black man, like we had that already. We had
Hmm.
we had Obama president
With a
of
beautiful
the
black
United
family.
States.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic. He was still drone in chief, right?
Hmm. Said
He
drone in chief.
he was.
Yeah.
He
No, it's funny.
was.
Yeah.
Like he was drone in chief. He still uh ramped up violence in the Middle East in West Asia, right?
Hmm.
Uh so and
But we
he's been
didn't get that. We didn't know all this was gonna happen. But like we already seen what Cop Mala has been a part of.
you should
Like,
have known. That's the problem. That's being the unconscious part of it, because we
mm,
should have known that that was going to happen with Obama, because he was pretty established. Like he had wet like left leaning people around him. He did like study some of this, so he knows the phrases and the things that people like us and people less left, I would say, would want. But he was really honest about his line that he was for Israel, he was for war, he was for, like, and I thought even watching it when I was, yeah, yes, Alex, the drone king. Yes, he called him that himself. And so
Oh wow.
I feel like um he was very honest, and when I was younger at 21, I felt like this was when I could first vote for him. And he had to kind of be goaded into talking about race. Like he kind of like avoided it for a while,
Yeah.
and then he kind of leaned into it later, because then you had the SNL skits and everything like that. Like, and I think that was the charm and the charisma that he was able to put on, right? I'm not saying we all should have loved it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that magical, charming,
Magical Negro.
whatever, magical Negro, but he was more like, I would say, selling an image of blackness that worked with the white establishment, which is why I think Obama was so dangerous. Shout out to Margaret Kimley and Black Agenda Report. She did a great article about that. But Obama, very, very establishment from the very beginning.
They gave us exactly what we wanted. Like, in a way, like, okay,
Visually speaking,
they gave us exactly, because I'll always say it's like, really, this is the corporations. This is like they picking they mascots. Like, okay, what mascot will everybody love?
And remember, and what I do find interesting though, and I haven't checked it yet, is that Obama hasn't endorsed Kamala, which I think
He hasn't. He came out last night and bigged up Biden, but he still hasn't endorsed Kamala.
Interesting. I just find that a little interesting, just for funsies. I don't know. It probably doesn't mean anything, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's wild. I'm definitely
exactly.
This is gonna be a wild time these next months. So make sure y'all tune in, because we're gonna have a lot to talk about. A lot of different things are gonna be going on, new and old, and we're gonna be here for it. And I'm glad y'all gonna be here for it too. So I guess it's about time to get ready for this weekend. I'm sure I guess y'all be able to catch. I know Kim got her show coming up. I know Jackie has her show coming up. So
check out Darker Than Blue.
Darker Than Blue.
Darker Than Blue.
Check out Burn It Down, Kim Brown. What's the name of her show? Burn It Down, Kim Brown.
Burn It Down with Kim Brown.
Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Check that one out. You can check out you got EYL in the morning at 8. We got a warrior class on Saturday. We got Saturdays with Renee, and Sundays you can come check me out and learn some more of this DJing.
Very, very cool.
We're going to have a good time. And then we see you again next Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. Who knows?
Possibly.
You know, we might get you on here more than just a day a week. Because, you know, we got to see if we can afford you.
You probably can't, man.
We got to recoup after this trip.
Hopefully we got to recoup.
Hopefully we get some of this money back. Because, god damn.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, I guess we can get up out of here. We only
give them a full mix. Give them a full mix. I deserve a full mix.
What you want to hear? Give me an artist.
I want to hear Eve, obviously.
Okay.
I want to hear Eve, and then I'll just let you go from there. But give me some Eve.
Once again,
I deserve it. I deserve it.
I deserve it. All right.
It's mine. I claim it.
All right. What's one of your favorite gospel songs?
Oh gosh, why are you gonna put me on the spot like that? I love Aretha. I love Bridge Over Troubled Water. Oh, are you gonna play Aretha? Oh, that would be fantastic.
Aretha. All right.
I love Aretha's gospel. Anything.
I gotta find some Eve.
What? You don't have Eve? Okay, well if you have
Aretha, I will Eve.
Accept.
I'm just trying to figure out. Huh?
I will accept Aretha if you don't have Eve. Yes.
I got both.
Oh my God, I got to screw. I absolutely need some tea and a nab. You have no idea.
You know, it's one of my favorite Aretha songs. This joint right here.
Now let us all go back to the old. Let us all go back to the old. Now let us all go back to the old. Then we'll stay in the service of the Lord. Now let us kneel in the old. Oh, let us kneel and pray in the old time way. Let us kneel down in the old time way. He will hear us and we'll be there from. Don't try.
right, once again, this is the
Well,
Remix
everybody.
Morning Show, y'all. And we about to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in as we rock out with a little bit of Aretha. Y'all. Here we go. We're gonna rock out for you, y'all.
I know that.
Little Aretha mix.
If you only believe. Billy Ray was a preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along.
Let's go.
When they gather around the parlor talking, that's when Billy
my
would take
tambourine.
me walking
Ooh.
through the backyard. We go walking.
My shakers.
He look into my eyes. Oh, no smile, surprise. The only one who could ever reach me
Hey.
was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man.
That's it.
Hallelujah, he was. Oh, he was.
Little Aretha mix right here for y'all. Let's go.
Sure you haven't got the wrong number. You sure it's me you want to talk to tonight? Everyone in town's got your number. Everybody's got you pegged right. Is that why you got in touch with me? I guess you must be running out of food.
Man, running out of fools. We just hit y'all with Son of a Preacher Man, Bridge Over Troubled Water, and Old Landmark. Check it out. Those are the songs, Aretha mix right here. Let's go.
Don't play that song for me,
No.
cause it brings back memories of days that I once knew. The days that I spent with you. Oh no, don't let it play it. Oh no, it fills my heart with pain. Please stop it right away. 'Cause I remember just what he said. He said, darling, and I know that he lied.
Uh-huh.
You know that you lied. You know that you lied. I pulled into Nazareth. I was feeling about a half past dead.
That's hard, ain't it?
I just need some place
Hey.
where I can lay
My head.
Hey, mister, can you tell me where a girl might find a bed?
That beat.
He just
Oh.
grinned and shook my hand.
Let's rock something with
That
that.
was all he said.
Come on, sing it. Take it off.
Take it off for free. Take it off, baby. Put the world on me. I picked up my bag. I went looking for a place to hide. When I was coming in, the devil walking side by side.
Bust the rhymes in effect.
Ha!
Jaheed is in effect. Fife Diddle
She
is in
said,
effect.
I gotta go, but
Check
my
it out
friend
and
can
give me
stick
my
around.
spec. I'm moving, yes, I'm moving, cause my mouth is on the motor.
And we about to get up out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in right here on the Remix Morning Show, and we are out. LJ in the building, Ear Doctor in the building. We held it down, y'all. Like, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. Peace out. Have a great weekend. Yeah.
Hallelujah, continua.